I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all-the-time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we are taking a closer look at Batman issue number 42. Poison Ivy has conquered the globe, and now the only ones who can stop her are Batman and Catwoman. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop on in together and find out. Alright, so we're only one page in, and I'm already filled with questions. Batman and Catwoman are watching a TV broadcast put on by Poison Ivy and those under her hive mind control. Okay, why would a world under Poison Ivy's control need a newscast if not just to get out exposition solely for Catwoman and Batman? Secondly, why are Selina and Bruce dressed casually when at the end of the previous issue they were in their costumes? You mean to tell me they got changed only to get changed again back into their crime-fighting outfits? This and several other strange inconsistencies throughout the issue lead me to believe strongly that this story might very well end up to be just a dream of some kind. Now, when Batman and Catwoman hit the street, they don't go looking for clues. They instead decide to go to a fast food restaurant. This seems silly at first, but it actually will make sense later. All the while, Catwoman goes out of her way to not actually talk about what's going on with the world getting taken over. Instead, she decides to make cute little comments about her and the Dark Knight's upcoming wedding. Basically just making a bunch of cute jokes like, oh, don't think because the world's taken over we're not gonna get hitched. Maybe Poison Ivy can officiate. She can be my maid of honor and your best man. Wah wah. After lunch, the duo decides to hit up the suburbs. However, Poison Ivy is on to whatever game they're playing right now because she dispatches all of the Flashes to go deal with the problem. And get this, Catwoman defeats all of the speedsters in one hit each. Wow, and I thought being able to defeat Talia al Ghul in a one-on-one fight was a little much. Now look, I could buy that maybe the two heroes weren't at 100% what with being under Poison Ivy's mind control, but seriously, one hit. Cat-like reflexes, man, you just can't beat them. And hey, if this bothers you, don't worry, you can go to Twitter where Tom King is already getting super defensive about this. But why are our heroes here? Well, it seems that they're looking for someone that Poison Ivy desperately does not want them to make contact with, so much to the point that the rest of the Justice League comes to capture them in a very strange panel cut, which again makes me think that this has to be a dream because it's following very dreamlike logic. If nothing else, once our heroes do get captured and strung up outside a tall building, we finally start to get some very important questions answered. One being how Poison Ivy was able to take over the entire globe. It seems that Pamela was able to use her powers over the green to manipulate the food supply, meaning anyone who ate anything leafy or green was susceptible to mind control. Personally, I think Poison Ivy is greatly overestimating the people in the world who actively choose to eat fresh produce and not just genetically engineered corn. Furthermore, what about characters who don't need to eat? Oh, we're just gonna forget about them now, aren't we? Now, in a stroke of pure unchecked convenience, we find out that Wayne Enterprises was actually working with a kid who had a strange genetic defect that kept him from eating anything leafy or green. No doubt Batman had hoped to find the kid so he could create a countermeasure to Poison Ivy's mind control. Pamela doesn't like that and has Superman punch his lights out, but doesn't kill him though. In fact, she goes out of her way to use a bunch of medical professionals under her mind control to put Batman back together again, showing that even though she took over the world, she's not a killer? Okay. Why they even go a step further to remind us that, why yes, Poison Ivy and Catwoman did have a pre-existing relationship. They don't go into deep detail about it or anything, but, you know, Tom King remembered it was a thing, so credit where credit is due. Oh, but wouldn't you know it, everyone, Batman is so wily and so slick, he wanted to get his ass kicked. He intentionally showed his hand so Poison Ivy would get together a series of medical professionals, including but not limited to Harley Quinn, and yeah, it's right around there that the comic ends. So that was Batman number 42, everybody, and while I still felt there were plenty of inconsistencies and things that just straight up didn't make much sense, to the writer's credit, we actually did get some important answers to questions here. I'm still running with the theory that all of this is going to be revealed to be some sort of big dream, but I could be wrong. I'm also not exactly won over by King's reasoning for why Poison Ivy chose to turn back to the dark side after years of being on the straight and narrow, but as I've said elsewhere before, I'll take a bad reason over no reason at all. Overall, I enjoyed it more than the previous issue, but not by much. I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. So that's Batman, everyone. I hope you liked the video, and as always, be sure to take a closer look at some of the other things I've been working on. Then you can follow me on social media at Cape Joel, so you're always up to date on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you like what I do and are feeling in a supportive mood, please check out my Patreon page down in the description. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. So until next time, everyone, this has been Cave Joel. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you all again later. Bye-bye.